Good day everyone, welcome to a new market update, and today we're going to discuss why Bitcoin is going into a heavy bear market and why everything is going to crash to zero. But before that we're going to have an alt season, and that's why I'm going to discuss why I'm still heavily interested into altcoins, because that's where the money can be made right now. But before we're going to continue, do not forget to subscribe beneath, a like or dislike, and comment if you want to see some special content. Actually, right now, I'm going to have some meetings to implement some new content as well, so the schedule will be changed. But next week, live streams will be back on Monday, 19:30 Central European Time, and also on Thursday, we'll be having a live stream on 19:30 Central European Time. So, next, let's discuss charts. Before we're going to discuss why I'm so interested in altcoins right now, I first want to discuss why Bitcoin is so important to watch, and why Bitcoin is just consolidating in general. I mean, Bitcoin has seen a very harsh correction, as we can see on the chart, and came all the way back down towards the support area around 48k. Also came towards the 21-week MA, but did not really get a test yet. And since then, the sentiment switched to ultra bearish, and immediately the price flipped back towards the first resistance zone. So we can see that this 55k level is literally the critical area that we have to break through for further bullish momentum. And as the chart shows, we have rejected there. Whether or not it was through Facebook not buying Bitcoin, who cares? But the price of Bitcoin rejected in the obvious resistance zone around 55k, and most likely will be consolidating for the coming period, as there are so many levels that it has to break through. And given the fact that the assumption of just having a corrective period or consolidative period is just healthy for a market that's just heating up. We just witnessed a very large impulse wave for the markets in itself, and just a sideways period for a substantial period of time is literally very healthy to have. So if Bitcoin is going to be consolidating, what's next for altcoins to happen? Well, what altcoins are doing right now is literally what Bitcoin has been doing in January 2021. So altcoins have seen a pretty nice run in the past month, but that pretty nice run also got a pretty harsh correction, right? We have seen altcoins dropping about 50%. That's painful. But this structure is what you see all across the place. So what you see is that price drops down towards a very obvious support level to test. And since then, the price starts to crawl upwards, not really granting a new entry point, and then it starts to overshoot to the upside. That's literally what I'm expecting to happen right now, as the construction is developing itself on many of those altcoins. So once Bitcoin is remaining silent or remaining calm, people feel comfortable by holding Bitcoin. And by holding Bitcoin, how are you generating more Bitcoin? It is through altcoins. But next to that, there's also a different point. If you go back through what these cycles mean in the cryptocurrency markets, and they still exist, is that Bitcoin always takes the first run. When Bitcoin makes the first run, then large caps will follow suit. So we saw Ethereum, Polkadot, Atom, all those bigger coins running heavily. Right now we see the exact same, as Bitcoin is correcting, but Ethereum is just continuing. Then once the large caps are done, the mid caps will follow suit, and then the small caps will follow suit. We've seen that happening in a small perspective previously. So we've seen that Bitcoin has made a run to 60k, the rest followed suit, but didn't really follow suit. So we've now seen a pretty harsh correction on the markets, and throughout the period that Bitcoin is bottomed out right now until it starts to crack those new all-time highs, that's the period where altcoins finally have the space to get up to the level where Bitcoin is right now, given the fact that Bitcoin is currently at 60k, while the previous all-time high is 20. Litecoin is still beneath the 2017 all-time high. Ethereum is just 2x the previous all-time high. Many other altcoins like Swipe is just beneath the all-time high of 2020. So there's still lots of momentum to gain, and that's when you can derive the information from the Bitcoin pairs, as the Bitcoin pairs show you whether or not the altcoin is outperforming Bitcoin. So if the Bitcoin pair is still down 80% from the all-time high or flipping the 100-day and 200-day MAs, that's when the bull cycle will start to kick in on those altcoins. And that's why you have to focus on those Bitcoin pairs to get that information that you need to derive your entry points. So also next point is that usually when an alt season is running or when the alt season summer is happening, the actual hype takes place the moment that the altcoins are already running. So once you want to get a position going on those altcoins, you have to be sure about yourself and you have to have balls, cojones, to be able to buy when nobody wants to buy them. I've seen it happening with Swipe. I've seen it happening with Litecoin. I've even seen it happening right now with DI. It's not moving, so it's not interesting. No, because it's not moving, it's actually very interesting. Because the actual strategy of trading in crypto is by taking the entry when nobody is interested in that entry. When everybody is discussing Pundi X, Holo Token, Dent, because they went vertical as they are low set, that's when you start, if you miss those, that's when you start to take the entry on other altcoins as everybody's jumping in on the wrong ones. So it's all about timing, and you can derive that information through technical analysis. So once we go towards Ethereum against Bitcoin, and we can see this chart here, it got many similarities with what had happened in the previous cycles. So right now we're just seeing a build-up before the actual impulse takes place. So Ethereum is still not having the impulse wave. The impulse wave, I mean something like we saw in 2016 and 2017. 2017 was also during the summer that it started to run heavily. And then during after the big boom of Bitcoin, we saw another run of Ether towards the new all-time highs. Right now we're just seeing a build-up, which means higher lows, higher highs. And that construction is making itself ready for a very big parabolic advancement, which usually has to come afterwards. So when Ether is starting to show strength, you already know that many altcoins will follow suit, as Ether is the key indicator of an alt season or strength on altcoins. And as Ether is doing that right now, it probably will start topping out relatively soon and have a period like this. But that's when you start to show interest into altcoins in general. When Ether gets to a point like this and it becomes overextended and people start discussing Ether going to absolutely crazy numbers, that's when you have to start scaling out, because the hype is being made in this period. That's when you have to take the step and you start scaling out. But you have to take the entry in the lower ranges, because that's where you will be taking that position, and that's where you can actually start making the profits. In a bear market, the winners are made in a bear market as they are reaping, as they are getting their rewards from every hype in a bull cycle. So you have to be working hard to get those entries in a bear market. And as a we are in a bull cycle, but the Bitcoin pairs on altcoins have been in a bear period for the past, probably like 6 to 9 months. They just started to flip the 100-day and 200-day MA. So they are just starting their bull cycle. So is there a bear market going to happen? No. That's not happening. A bull cycle takes way longer than the previous bear market. That's also the case. And next to that, why would you want to focus on a bear market starting when the bull cycle is just happening? People are so fixated on thinking that the bear market has to happen relatively soon. But we discussed the 100-day and 200-day MA on altcoins, and I have to get it up there again, which is Swipe. It's just a very nice view on what altcoins are going to do. What I meant is that the level of Swipe against Bitcoin is so low compared to the all-time high that it's just still accumulating. There's also the volume that's just increasing heavily, and it's also on Tomo, it's also on Kava, it's also on RSR, Ocean, Icon, OneChain. All those projects, they show the exact same chart. That's why it's interesting to focus yourself on those altcoins. And you can see that the 100-day and 200-day MA has flipped. You can see that we've got higher highs, higher lows, and most likely we're starting to get heated up here, in which we're starting a parabolic advancement in which the impulse waves become larger and larger. And when the actual hype happens, we are here. So that's when you start scaling out or start taking profits. So Swipe is a beautiful example. You can also see it on like the older altcoins. I mean, Litecoin is one of those that shows that it's literally just starting up a bull cycle. I mean, it's flipping the 100-day and 200-day MA here as support, while it also has been doing that in 2017 and 2015. 2016 only a minimal move. You can see that the volume has increased heavily. You can see that it's been in a bear market since June 2019, or practically even further since April 2019. Let's call it that way, because this is a slight bull cycle. So based on that, altcoins are still not seeing a bull cycle yet, but we're getting at the start of one, and you want to position yourself well. So look at the 100-day and 200-day MA. Be critical on what you see on social media, because the focus is always on the wrong stuff when you see something on social media. A third, if you want to become a winner in the alt season, you have to start taking those positions. I'm still buying altcoins. I'm still happily holding those, and I hope this information will give that to you as well. So always keep smiling, enjoy the day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.